Hey, Mr. Thomas, this is Jason Medley. I'm with Foreclosure Remedies, and I got a call from Lillian, your realtor, and she asked me to give you a call to tell you a little bit about what we do, see if we can create a win-win situation for everybody in the mix. So essentially what we do is I've got a company, and our ultimate goal, like I said, is to create a win-win situation where we can prevent the foreclosure on your side, okay, and try to do as much as we can to salvage your credit and put you in a favorable position. At the same time, from the bank standpoint, get a bad debt off their books, okay, because the more debt that they have that's bad, the less they have to tuck away in reserves, which means they can't lend money, and that's how they make money, okay. And then from our sense as well, win-win situation in that we're real estate investors, okay, and we obviously want to try and negotiate your property and buy your property at a point where it makes business sense for us, okay. So again, create a win-win situation, and the thing about working with us is that we create an environment where all we do is focus on short sales, okay? We don't go after any other type of business right now as far as real estate goes. It's our goal to look for homes like yours, okay? There's no equity in it unless we create equity through the negotiation process, okay? We've been doing this now for about 2 years, okay, and we're actually very successful at it. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about how we do it, okay? The way that we do it is that we're going to put a contract in on your property, okay? And there's 3 basic options that can happen once we put a contract in on your property. And I want to give you an analogy, okay? In that a short sale, the way we work it, the way we negotiate, is very similar to buying a vehicle. When you go to buy a vehicle, the dealer wants you to pay this. You want to offer this, and after some negotiations, you come together somewhere in the middle. Okay, well, that's the same way that we're going to handle this short sale process when we enter into contract on your property. Okay, now what that means is we're going to start out low, the bank's going to start out high, and hopefully through some negotiations we can come to terms that make sense for everybody. Okay, so there's 3 potential options here once we put in our contract. That is, one, that we purchase the property at a point where it makes sense for us to hold on to it as a long-term investment. Buy it, hold it, potentially cash flow it. Going to have to cash flow for us in order to make sense to do that. And I will be honest with you, in Florida that's a little tough given the tax and insurance situation that we currently have here, okay? Now, the second option that we have is that we may not be able to negotiate the property at a point where it makes sense for us to buy and hold it long-term, but it may make sense for us. We can buy it at a point where we may say, hey, we don't want to hold it long term, but we can potentially resell it immediately for a profit. That might be the same day, it might be a week later, it might be a month later, who knows, okay? Now, the third option is if we go through this process and we can't do either option 1 or 2, then we can simply withdraw our contract and submit, okay, if a third party wants to pay absolute top dollar and we can't negotiate a discount that makes business sense for us, we will withdraw our contract and place that third party's contract in, and then merely act as a facilitator for the transaction, okay? Because I have an LLC, Platinum Solutions, that actually buys your property. Okay, we'll go into contract with Platinum Solutions. Foreclosure Remedies handles the negotiations. So if Platinum Solutions can't work out something that's favorable for us from a business standpoint and leaves you in a good position as a homeowner, gets the debt off the bank's books, then we can withdraw and just have Foreclosure Remedies continue to negotiate and mitigate that file with a third-party contract. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is explain to you how we profit in each situation. Okay, that way everything's clear and we're all above board. In the first situation, if we buy and hold the property, okay, we may profit from the fact that we get a positive cash flow from the rent, and in the future, 5-10 years from now, when we sell the property, there may be obviously a capital gain there if we can create some equity at the time of purchase and then appreciation over the years, okay? In the second scenario, if we're going to buy and potentially resell the property very quickly, obviously the profit there would be between what we purchase it for and what we resell it for minus our expenses associated with that, all right? And then thirdly, if we can't do 1 or 2 and we just handle and facilitate the transaction as a mitigation company, then we actually put a fee on the closing statement to the bank, and they agree to pay us for handling the transaction, okay? For example, we give the bank what's called a HUD-1 or a net sheet and says, hey, here's the offer. Here's all your expenses. Here's what your net is. One of those expenses would be a mitigation fee to foreclosure remedies, okay?